Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is ELEMENTofFROST. Today we are here to talk about and do a trailer review of Fear the Walking Dead Season 2B, which means the second half of Season 2, if you got it. I mean, it goes without saying. So to get right into things, they actually released this trailer at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con to be exact. It was actually just released yesterday during the panel for Fear the Walking Dead. And then of course one was also released for The Walking Dead, which by the way, I'm making you wait for. It's coming a little later today with another video, so make sure you check into the channel, okay? So anyway, this trailer was pretty intense, to be honest with you. It was really, really good. Now, on yesterday's video, I actually argued that Fear the Walking Dead was like getting a little boring for me. The last episode, which was obviously the mid-season finale, it didn't really have a really good vibe, you know, for a mid-season finale. I'm just not a big fan of the whole Mexico thing. But this trailer has definitely changed my mind. If anything happens like what happens here in the trailer, this next half of the season is going to be insane, guys. Because it was pretty fucking good. So we're going to do a whole trailer review of it. It's only about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Make sure you guys go check out the trailer first before you go ahead and check out this review. Okay, for the first 30 seconds of the trailer, it was basically recapping us on what happened at the end of last episode, with obviously Madison, you know, losing Nick. Not Nick dying or anything like that. So if you guys didn't watch it, Nick didn't die or anything like that. But she did lose Nick, in a sense, because he walked off on his own. You know what I mean? He totally left his family, and he's on his own now out in the world. And Madison doesn't really know, you know, what to do. She wanted to obviously stay there and get him, but the entire truck was surrounded by hordes and hordes of zombies. It was way too unsafe. Nick was obviously covered in his blood, so he was perfectly fine. And Madison, unfortunately, couldn't save there and talk Nick into actually getting into the car with her. So, therefore, she sort of lost him in a sense. So now he's out on his own. She's recapping, basically saying, I lost him. If you leave him alone, he goes and, pretty much does his own thing in the world. He should be safe. So we see Nick walking down roads and everything like that, and him just looking absolutely exhausted from surviving on his own and outriding walkers. And it gets a little more crazy, later on in the trailer with Nick and him surviving on his own, but we'll get into that. And of course, we have the next scene, which basically involves, some sort of a refugee camp or anything like that, that they sort of just get together and they can survive on their own. But these refugees are not really normal. They probably believe in, I'm not going to obviously get too much into religion or anything like that, but they probably believe in some sort of a god, and they think that, praying to them will keep them safe, and that's obviously just not the case. We see them experimenting with that, basically sending some guy into an entire horde of walkers, him leaving his daughter behind, him walking into a secure zone that is lit by, like, a bus. So he goes into the bus, closes the door behind him, and then the back door of the bus is sort of like the entrance to a walker pit, if you will, and he goes in there. Everybody outside the fence is praying, trying to keep him safe. He walks right into the middle of the horde of walkers and just gets absolutely eaten alive, which means their theory of them keeping him safe with their prayers is clearly not working. I mean, we all knew that. We all knew that the walkers would just absolutely devour him. Again, that leads me back to my personal struggles with watching this series as of right now, is them using this whole Mexican, God belief storyline that they try to keep each other safe. They try to act like nothing is actually happening around them, you know what I mean? And I get why they do it, because they have to make it different from the actual original show. They have to have some more storylines and make it new and fresh. I get it. But I feel like they could have come up with something a little better than this, in my opinion. But again, it's still a good show. I still will watch it. I still will support it. And all around, I do like it. I do like all the characters, at least some of them. I hate a couple. But with that being said, let's get into the rest of the trailer. So again, here we see Madison worrying about Nick, wanting to go out and find him. Strand points out that they need to get back to the boat. They can't keep surviving. They can't keep scavenging. It's not going to work. There's not enough food out here. And again, we see Nick somewhat in danger here. It looks to me like he's meeting some sort of another group, and this girl is trying to warn him about the dangers of actual people. And while she's warning him about that, obviously another scene clips in, basically him running away from some guys that look to be looting cars. They have guns. They see Nick, and he starts running away, and these guys are actually basically shooting at him the entire time. So we do get to actually see them encountering bad people now. This isn't really something on the show that we actually get to see before. On Fear the Walking Dead, we basically get to see them interact with zombies, and zombies only. Now, I'm really, really excited that they're finally going to be able to interact with people here. in a way that they're actually going to have to maybe kill some. Obviously, the group that they were with, you know, back at Strand's boyfriend's little ranch that he had there, or whatever you want to call it, obviously they were a little insane, right? They wanted to kill people, but they didn't really want to murder them for supplies. They wanted to do it for peace and, you know, all that crap. But nonetheless, they did get some people interaction, but they didn't really get the real danger of, like, getting shot at and everything like that. And it looks like they are now. So I'm pretty excited for that. We get to see Travis and Chris out on their own, scavenging for supplies. Obviously, they left the group at the end of last episode. Nick had to notify Madison, and that really upset her as well. So she lost Travis. She lost Nick right now. And things are not going great for Madison, but we get to see Travis and Chris out here, again, looting cars. There's confrontation with Chris again. Basically, Chris saying that, you know, he can take care of himself while he's shooting a walker. And he, you know, kind of points a gun beside Travis's head, not going to shoot him or anything like that, but it looks like he took out a walker or at least somebody else maybe that was trying to kill them or threaten them. And that could be a really big breaking point. One more thing here that's actually interesting too is Madison and the group, which obviously includes Strand, Ophelia, and Alicia, they actually come across a huge hotel that they are thinking about seeking shelter in, which I'm pretty excited for. I think that's going to be pretty cool. It's going to put off some sort of a Dead Island, you know, type of vibe. If you guys are familiar with that game, that's going to be pretty cool if they actually manage to pull something like that off. As I was saying before, it looks like Nick met some sort of another group, and this group maybe met him first. You maybe saw him first through these binoculars that this girl's looking through. She's seen him collapse in the middle of the road, and it doesn't look good for Nick. He looks absolutely exhausted. Maybe he's realizing he shouldn't have gone out on his own, but who knows? We'll obviously see when the time comes around. So it looks like Madison's group actually gained access to that hotel, and they're going inside. Madison notices that people have locked this place down, absolutely fortified the shit out of it, and Alicia points out, you know, where are they now? Why would they leave if this place was so, you know, fortified? If it was so locked down, why would they leave if it was safe? It looks like Nick actually has joined that group that I was talking about, and that specific group looks to be the group that was actually, you know, taking the prayer to keeping that guy safe in the middle of that zombie horde. So that might not be too great for him. Because he's actually talking to the main guy, or who I at least assume is the main guy. He looks like a doctor. He's patching up some sort of a wound on Nick's leg. And Nick is basically saying, you know, there's safety in numbers. This is why I do what I do. This is why I sit in the middle of a horde covered in blood. And this is how I survive. So we get to see Nick obviously teaching his trick to other survivors now, which could be beneficial. You know, helping somebody else out, they'll help you out. But it could be bad as well. We get to see Strand here maybe going a little insane, just absolutely hammering on the front desk bell there in the hotel. And Madison basically looks at him, you know, basically says, are you insane? Obviously, ringing the bell would alert nearby walkers, and it would not be good for any of them. And Nick now, like I said, is in this community, and it looks like he's running into some sort of trouble here. He actually asks one of the, what looks like friendly faces, is a girl. He asks, you know, who are these guys, pointing at guys with guns? She says they're guns, and they'll hunt you for just looking at them wrong. And while she says that, Nick's getting chased down by some guy, probably one of the guns, is pretty safe to assume, chasing him down, getting him on the ground, and he looks to have a machete over Nick's left hand. So is he actually going to lose a hand here? What's going to happen? They wouldn't put something like that in the trailer. I mean, that wouldn't really make sense if they just revealed, you know, some sort of a major character mutilation like that in a trailer. It wouldn't make sense to me. Who knows? Maybe they'll cut off his hand. Maybe they'll pull a Rick from the comic books, obviously. Now, the rest of the trailer is actually pretty fast-paced, so it's kind of hard to break everything down. So Travis is basically believing and saying and trying to convince people that he believes that it isn't the end. You know, they can actually get back what they lost, and Chris points out that they can't get back everything. As that scene comes on where he shoots a gun past Travis's head, maybe killing somebody. It's safe to assume that it would be somebody, you know, somebody who's not a walker. And obviously that would be a pretty key point in Travis noticing what has to be done in today's world. Bodies are falling from the top floor of the hotel, which is just absolutely insane because, like I said, it reminds me of a big Dead Island feel. I was a really big fan of that game, and it's going to be pretty sweet to see this on TV. Again, the rest of the trailer is really, really hard to break down because everything is, you know, so fast-paced. There's music to it, and it's just, everything's going on, guys. So I really recommend you check it out, but I'll try to pull some things out of it. First of all, we see, you know, Nick looking to be in trouble with a horde of zombies that he's gaining shelter up on top of a bus. We don't really know what's going on there. Obviously, again, it's just little snippets and everything like that, so we don't really have too much to go on. But Madison's group at the hotel looks like they are in trouble. It looks like a horde of walkers gain access to the hotel. This is my assumptions. And Strand and Madison are stuck behind a bar counter. You know what I mean? Like a complete a circle or a rectangular bar counter. And walkers are reaching in from all sides. Madison and Strand are obviously in, you know, by the island of the bar counter. And they're obviously surrounded by walkers. They don't really know what to do. It looks like Alicia's in trouble and maybe Ophelia. They look like they're trying to get down like an elevator shaft and escape walkers. So they could be on an upper floor and they're trying to get down and help and, you know, just get the hell out of there. Alicia actually ends up jumping onto one of the cables and she holds out her hand for someone to grab it. It could be Ophelia. I would assume that it's Ophelia because I believe at this point it would probably be, you know, Ophelia and Alicia and Strand and Madison down in the bar room because I don't really know how Strand and Madison would get out of that without some sort of help, right? So I would assume the attack happened, you know, at relatively the same time on each floor. Who I believe to be Travis looks to be in some trouble too with, you know, him down on the ground and a gun against his head. It just looks absolutely insane, guys. It really, really does. The leader of the other group or the doctor or whoever it is, you know, the one that was actually sending somebody into a horde of walkers and, you know, praying for them and everything like that. He's going on about saying, you know, it's not all about death. We were chosen. The people who are left alive, we are chosen. We are the chosen ones to probably bring this world back to life. I would assume it'd be along the lines of that. You know, some sort of a crazy speech like that. At the end of the trailer, Nick points out that not everything can be about death. We don't really know who he's talking to. And that is the end of the trailer, guys. Okay, we have a 2-minute and 30-second trailer. Definitely worth every single second of it. I definitely recommend you guys go watch it. Link will be down in the description below. But that is my trailer review. I think this season is going to be absolutely insane. I think it's going to blow the first half out of the water. That's just me. I could be totally wrong. It could be horrible. Who knows? Again, these are just predictions. I don't have to be right. Again, the link will be in the description down below if you guys want to check it out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Feel free to support the channel by hitting like on this video and subscribing. It would really help me out a lot. As you guys know, I do trailer reviews, episode predictions of Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead, obviously when they come out, as well as tons and tons of other gaming videos here on my channel. So if you guys are into that sort of thing, check out everything else. Tune in back later today for a speed build video on a game called Rust, and tune in later today for a trailer review for The Walking Dead San Diego Comic-Con trailer for Season 7. I will see you guys on the next video. Take care.